Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your gameplay for one of the most memeable tanks in all of War Thunder, the T95 Tutel. That's right, this is a currently ranked 5 battle rating 7.0 SPG tank destroyer, whatever you want to call it, assault gun in the American Ground Forces tech tree, and is an absolute beast in so many ways. It has a ridiculously large cannon, a ridiculously slow speed, a ridiculous amount of armor, and a rather ridiculous reload rate of 17.7 seconds per shot. This thing is just outright ridiculous. And it also has a ridiculous amount of tracks with 4. So really, this might be the most memeable tank in all of War Thunder. Now, in this video, I will be taking it out into a few matches. We can have a good time, see how we do with this vehicle. This might be one of those things where I get 2 kills in one match, 3 kills in another match, just because it's so damn slow that I can't really maneuver it so well, and thus you can't go to hotspots so much with this. You almost have to have the hotspots hit you instead and hope that you don't get flanked, because while it has over 300 millimeters of armor at the front, not so much here on the sides with 152, which isn't terrible, but if you know where to shoot this thing, it's rather easy to destroy. Now that said, let's get into a few matches, win some adamant awards, and have a good time with Tutel. Okay, we have a dead guy right there, Centurion Action X. Fairly rare vehicle, as a matter of fact. We have someone else on the side here. Hopefully he doesn't get me. I do hear him. I was actually expecting that to be an IS-4 based on the kill feed here. But let's go ahead and turn. We might get ourselves a mobile kill. I actually had a few matches, or a match a few minutes ago, where I was able to obtain... Ooh, buddy, I'm sorry in advance. I am sorry in advance, but I was actually able to obtain 2 base caps with this thing. It was a miracle. It was, I think actually that might be certified as a miracle by the Vatican. But I have not submitted the paperwork yet. In much the same way, I've not yet. Ooh, Tutel time. Can I... Oh my goodness. I think the mouse is going to win, though. He's got the benefit of mobility. And also, in my opinion, just better cannons. So, and also he's got the ability to shoot the... whatchamacallit? Can I get that cannon? I kind of can. Okay. And... oh! Don't... you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Ugh, that fart's so bad. Anyways, hopefully his engine's definitely not dead, but hopefully this shot should be able to get him. And it won't. Doesn't really matter all too much to me. We're going to keep on moving on at a snail's pace, because that's what the snail does. But we do have, what is that, an IS-2? Now, the gun optics on this thing are pretty bad. Not good. I'm going to try to aim for that turret. Got a turret hit. Very nice. Ooh, Object 248. That's an even rarer vehicle. That's actually an IS-2 with a 100mm cannon. I prefer it over the standard IS-2 any day of the week. It's actually a pretty good vehicle. Ooh, that's also a pretty big vehicle. Let's see if I can take out that side of the turret. Maybe not. Okay. Not too big of a deal. He's not going to be able to pen through the front of me, and I'm not going to be able to do so much against him, although one thing that I have that he does not is a gigantic cupola weakness, which has been exploited several times when I've been trying to make this video. But if nothing else, I might be able to damage this guy's suspension, hopefully. I might even switch over to the T29 E3 shell, because, of course, APCR, while it sucks, it could be useful in some situations. Oh, very nice. APCR did work. I got 2 or 3 enemies killed there. We have some sort of a vehicle. Looks like it might not be a topped vehicle, or at least something weak to HMG. A little difficult to say from this angle. Oh, yeah, that might be a Chinese HE vehicle. So hopefully this should be able to take them out, and it does. Now, this is what the T95 excels at. Is going to be longer ranges and something where you're not going to get flanked so easily. So a lot of the time you'll see with T95s, they prefer the sides of the map. And again, that's just because they're not going to be flanked as easily. Because if one of your sides is more or less protected by an invisible boundary that Gaijin sets up, you know, oftentimes that means that you're probably not going to die, at least from that way. And, you know, you have fewer places that you have to worry about. See, people like this, Moldy Cheese, you are my hero. He's actually trying to help speed this thing up. If you guys, well, obviously you guys know, this thing is just incredibly slow. And when it comes to speeds in this game, with few exceptions, they're all pretty much limited by the suspension, right? Like by the hull itself. And so that's kind of what we're dealing with. That, and of course the transmission, I guess, but we really don't have anything fast to like build on. Like this thing could, in theory, have a 30km/h top speed. And even with the 500 horsepower engine, it would be able to actually do it. You know, I mean, it would just take some time. But unfortunately, it just doesn't. You know? But I'll be damned if this guy is not trying to help me, or he's trying to use me as a mobile barricade. We have an enemy over here. Now, one of the great things about this vehicle is that my terrible aiming aside, one of the great things about it is that it's actually quite decent insofar as being kind of like a mobile firing platform is concerned, because it can pretty easily it's almost got what I like to call like a speed-based stabilizer, in that it's so slow that it's kind of stabilizes itself. It's kind of like the mouse in that regard. Like the mouse is such a slow vehicle that you can actually fire on the move because it just doesn't hit pot or, you know, different like divots and all that at any real speed, so your vehicle doesn't really move. We have a Panther, I think, right here. Had a Panther right there. You expose yourself a little bit, and that's all it takes. So don't expose yourself. Well, you know what I mean, right? Oh, we have a Tiger, too. And he is toast. Gotta love it. Now, we have ourselves an object something or the other there. He knows exactly where to shoot. You're going to want to shoot the cupola. That is typically a pretty good shot to make against this thing. However, he did not make it that time. I got that kill, though. Very nice. Now, another way to use this thing is kind of like as a roadblock, which is more or less kind of what I'm doing right here. We do have that object right there. I know you're there, buddy. And I might be able to shoot the side of his turret. I can, kind of. But not too big of a deal. We can keep on moving up. But, I mean, ultimately, there's kind of like two different ways, at least in my opinion, to play this thing. One is as a roadblock, very similar to like the T28, which is pretty much the same vehicle, just, I guess, slightly different. And the other is as a, you know, while flanking. Well, I shouldn't say while flanking, but while being on a flank, so that one of your flanks isn't really all that exposed. Oh, we have a Tiger. And we had 3 Tigers, man. Like I said, this gameplay, unfortunately, it's just like, oh, we got 2, 3 kills, you know? I mean, it's cool. Like, when you play this thing, getting a kill is so extremely satisfying. But, of course, if you don't hit those notes like I just did, it's not going to be the greatest thing in the world. Hopefully that guy behind me is going to be able... Oh, no, he can't. He's going to let me down. So that said, I guess we can get into another match. See what we can do, because I'm about to be toast. So I guess really probably the last thing I could say about this thing is that, sure, yeah, it's a lot of fun. But it becomes a chore. Genuinely, like, it becomes a real chore to actually continue to play. It's just, I don't know. It's so slow that it takes away from other aspects of this vehicle that I feel like I could really enjoy. But because it is so slow, you really can't do a lot with it, right? Like, you can't flank with it. Well, I mean, I guess technically you could flank with it, but you probably shouldn't. You know, if your cannon's knocked out, you're pretty much screwed. If you're... Can I... Well, that's always fun. I love debris. Maybe I should switch over to ultra low quality. But there's so many things with this vehicle that I like. The cannon's awesome. The frontal armor is awesome. But at this point in time, there are so many people that know how to beat this thing. Shoot the cupola. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten killed by cupola shots, right? Or cupola shots, whatever you want to call it. It's been a lot. It's been more than I'd want. And one time is too much, but it's been far more than just once. And that sucks. Ooh, we have a Ferdinand. Right there! Cupola shot! And it's been Ferdinand's, actually, quite a few times. Let's go ahead and observe this. Right there. Perfect shot. This guy knows what he's doing. Right over the ammo, too. Let's just respawn and finish this out. So, in summation, while it is quite fun to meme around with this vehicle and be like, Tutel, Tutel, or however people might pronounce that, ooh, I'm sorry. He's just like, whoa! It's like you can almost see the look on his face where he's like, uh-oh. But on one hand, while this vehicle, again, is a lot of fun, it just has so many drawbacks. So many drawbacks where it's just like some matches are great, some matches are terrible. It's a feast and famine vehicle that does well sometimes, and when your team is completely crushed, or when you don't have the support of your team would be a better way to say it, you just die, you know, and that's what's happening here. You can't be sent in to fight by yourself. You can't, you know, you have to make sure that you have some sort of a way. Can I take out that track? Wouldn't that be cool? If this guy doesn't know how to actually do whatever. And there you go. And everybody knows how to destroy this vehicle via the cupola. It's just such an easy vehicle to kill these days because people know the weak spots. But with that said, thanks for watching. If you don't mind, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. I honestly wanted this to be one of those videos where it was like, oh, you know, I got 7 kills and, you know, 9. It's just like the Tutel, the T95, requires oftentimes such a specific set of circumstances in order to do really well. Like, your floor with this vehicle is not, it's actually really high, but the ceiling with this vehicle, while it is also high, requires a very specific set of circumstances for you to reach. Again, good map, you know, like a small map typically, or at least a map with not too many flanking locations, and also, of course, a good team as well. So that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.